up, pretty gang? It's your favorite motherfucking nail tech, Peaches, back with another video. I know I've been gone, but not really, baby. I've been on YouTube Shorts. Now, today, we're hopping straight into spooky season. I know you're probably like, Peaches, why you ain't come correct with the Halloween tutorials? Well, I have, but on Shorts, you feel me? So this is a set we're doing today. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is a complex set as far as the amount of steps, but not as far as the design, so do not be scared away by multi-tiered, leveled, stepped sets. Okay, so the first thing that we got to work on with this set is going to be the French tips, because if we don't do the French tips, we cannot do the little blood splatters, blood drips on top. Now I'm going to recommend that you guys get a good quality brush. I am using the not polished liner brush, nail art brush, fine lines brush. They have a couple that you can choose from. I do have my coupon code in the description below, of course, if you want a discount. And we're going to smoothly draw our French. No matter what brushes that you use one that you have good control with. Now with almond shape, it can be kind of difficult to get the right shape. We went with a thicker shape. I know some people like just the tiniest bit at the bottom, but for this look, you need a little bit of substance, okay? You need a good amount of white because this is blood drips. If we don't have a good large area of French, we're not gonna have a good cute little blood drip. All right, now I'm gonna say it this time, like I said the last time, y'all, I have tutorials specifically for French tips, and they're going to be on my channel for those who need extra help. Okay, now I'm not gonna hold y'all. I don't normally paint the French tips with the brush, but because I'm low on polish, this is actually making sure that I don't, overdo it with the white. Now for the blood drips, I know it seems complicated, but it's not. Get you a good old-fashioned daughter tool. Make you some dots where you want the blood to drip. Okay, the dots are representing the drip itself, and then we're just going to connect the dots with the red. Do not get flustered with the fact that it seems like, oh my gosh, I have to outline my French. I know we don't like to do too much when it comes to the French. It's hard making sure it's perfect, but once you got your dots in place, you really don't have to do that much outlining, I promise. Now if you try and just do the outline first and then go ahead and establish the drips, it's going to be a little bit more work for you because you're going to get frustrated with trying to perfectly outline the French. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to fill in, and then it's like, okay, Peaches, I done did the outline, I done did the drips. Why it's not coming together? I'm going to tell you, no. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you why it looks like it's not coming together, right? Because we filled it in, and it's like, okay, this don't look very drippy. It looked remedial. It looked like a 5-year-old did this, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back in with that daughter tool and reestablish the drips, and we're going to also add drips where we feel like it's a little empty, because when things are sliming or dripping or whatever, it needs to look kind of like there's a flow. And once you kind of paint in between the drip drops and in between the lines, sometimes it can mess up that flow. So we basically have to go ahead and reestablish it. Okay, so again, we're going to outline our drops, we're going to outline the French and fill it in, and then see how I'm doing. I'm just going in with my daughter tool, and I am either adding extra drips or I'm using it to make the end of the drip look more of that circular oval shape. Okay, and this is what's going to give you the look you want. Now I did pretty much four drips per nail in various areas, various lengths. That's another thing you don't want to forget. We need the different levels. We need some drips low, some drips high. That's what's gonna make it look, really like goods. Okay, now this client did have an inspo pic. I don't have it on me, but I promise you, honey bun, to just know, yeah, we ate them down. Now I honestly feel like what's also gonna make this look is the shade of red you're using. I kind of mix a deeper burgundy with like a traditional brighter red to get this type of shade. This is like the exact type of shade I like to use for all my blood red. When I'm doing splatters, sometimes I keep some of the darker red, and then I mix this too, so I have multicolor. But all in all, if your red is too bright and too orange, it's kind of gonna look too comical. Okay, and if it looks too dark, then now we're into the burgundy and we're not that blood red that we all recognize. Like, okay, this is blood drips. All right, so just keep that in mind. Another thing to kind of watch out for is making sure that the French tips are really cured very well before you go and do this, because honestly, with this type of look, this type of set, everything you do needs to be cured before you go on to the next layer of polish. Because if you don't, and you try to wipe away a mistake with acetone, you're gonna either A, wipe off the polish, or B, you're gonna endure some wrinkling when we're not fully cured during each level of nail art, however you want to call that. Okay, so it doesn't have to be cured 100%, but you do want to do you know, a couple seconds in between. Now, but a Ghostface, we all know and love Ghostface. Now, don't be scared. I know it seems like, how can I do this? You know, what can I do? Now I'm gonna tell you right now, the key, use a daughter tool. Okay, that's what I like to do to make my outline, because it's very hard sometimes to make these type of lines, you know, where it's very smooth with the liner brushes. Okay, so if you have trouble, you can go ahead and use your daughter tool, like the thicker side of a daughter tool, and go ahead and make the shape. Fill it in as well, and you'll get a really nice smooth shape. Just remember, his cheeks got a little chubby cheek. He's a little chunk of monk, and we want his mouth area not to be too skinny, because we do still got to go and draw a mouth. Okay, so once we do that, we are going to cure it for like 10-15 seconds so the polish does not wrinkle and it's good enough to polish on top of. Now for the eyes, we're taking the smaller side of the dotting tool, and we're making 2 dots like a moon shape. We're just going to thicken them up, and then at the end, I do like to take the daughter tool on the top and bottom of the eyes and just, you know, make sure that that circularness is there. Of course, the nose is just like a little triangle, in the mouth, I don't like to make it too skinny, and I do like to make it like thicker at the top, maybe a little skinnier at the bottom, because, you know, we just want it to look like it has some depth. Now, after this, I like to go in with the clear and the black mix, and I draw the little details. So this is what you see, like the shadowing around the eyes, the mouth, you know, on the cheeks, so that way he look, I don't want to say like real, but it brings some depth, and it looks a little bit more than just a plain white face, if that makes sense. Now, I will be honest with you guys, I personally do some of these details all at the same time. So I'm going to draw the hood and the face details at the same time sometimes. But if you're a beginner, or honestly, if you're just a little clumsy and you just know you're prone to swiping away polish, throw that sucker in there for about 7 seconds and keep on with your drawing. The most important part is at the end, you need to do your full 60. Okay, and that's just that. Now, this particular client did want the hood to like be the entire background of the nail, but if you don't want that, then, you know, go ahead and just draw the hood however you want to draw. Now for the blood splatter, this is what I was talking about. I like to have that same type of blood red color, because don't this look like blood? And because we cured right nicely, each layer got cured a little bit, when I go in with this acetone and wipe away the areas of the blood that I don't like, my picture is still there, honey. You know, so just kind of go ahead. Of course, this step is optional, but like I said, we had an inspo pick, and I did ask her, you know, do you want the blood on there? Do you not? There's certain things I asked her just to make sure how closely to the inspo pick do she want. And after that, baby girl or baby boy, you know, whoever the hell nail tech you are, top coat. Woo! Congratulations. You have done a multi-step Halloween set. And it didn't even take that long, now did it? Now, I do have another spooky set for sure that I'm going to be uploading. I have the footage all ready to go. Look, we in the last crunch. We got 11 days till Halloween, honey. Final result. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. And you know what? If you so are behooved, follow my other channel on YouTube, because I post there every single day, Pretty Face Peaches. I love y'all, and see y'all in the next one.